Neutron is hitting all-time high after all-time high. Now what's behind this rally? In this video we're going to look at the fundamentals yet again. Now why again? Because we talked about Neutron in the past on this channel. Have a look at this. On the 15th of November, Neutron at the time was at 52 cents. So that was over here on this chart. Since then we have more than doubled. Now let me show you a problem with the YouTube algorithm. A lot of people did actually not watch that video. The gray area is the typical performance of a video. The blue line is the performance of the Neutron video. And initially this was a pretty poorly performing video. But now as the price continues to rise, that first video starts to get somewhat acceptable performance, right? It's now outperforming after 51 days. So if you've missed this rally and if you want to be early next time, maybe consider following channels like this and potentially even hitting the notifications because, as said, the YouTube algorithm tends to be very slow. Now in this video, I'm not going to bore you with the marketing jazz of the project. This is not what in the end determines supply and demand, thus the price. We are instead looking at project development, at the capital being deployed in the blockchain, at the leading decentralized applications. Tokenomics might be interesting as well, right? Is there some vesting happening? And of course, we're going to investigate the roots where this recent outperformance here is coming from. So let's start off with the GitHub repository. This is the platform where programmers submit their code changes. So when there's a lot of code changes, there's probably a lot of development happening for the project. Thus, new products could come out soon. What we find for Neutron is a lot of activity. Just an update 17 hours ago, another one here 3 days ago, another one 5 days ago. This is exactly what we want to see. We want to see that despite the bull market, that the team is not just focusing on marketing. We want the team to be focused still on building product. And that's exactly what we can observe in GitHub. Now, what I want to know is the current pace of adoption of the technology. Is this all simply just anticipation in the hope that something nice will be developed and adopted? Or is there already a working product with adoption, with a growing user base? A nice indicator for adoption is how much capital is currently locked in the chain or bridged in the chain. That's this chart here on DeFi Llama, and this is going up quite nicely. In June of this year, we had been at around 15 million or so. Now we are at 50 million roughly. Now, where does this growth come from? Have a look at the 1 month change. Mars protocol grew by 115% in the last month. And this is not just due to the price appreciation of Neutron, because Neutron went up only by 76%. Have a look at this total value log chart of Mars itself. The Mars V2 launch on Osmosis really propelled quite a bit of growth. So it's a borrowing and lending platform. You can deposit your DYDX, get an 8% APY. You can deposit your stablecoins, get 6 up to almost 8%. And so let's work with the assumption that there's actually growing demand, growing adoption here. The numbers don't look bad. What I'm now concerned with is, of course, supply. The price is the result of supply versus demand. If demand is growing, but supply grows even faster because of unlocks of existing investors, etc., then this is bad for price. We want to know about the circulating supply. There are some hints in the documentation. For example, a burn mechanism is being described here. So Neutron's blockchain has transaction fees as pretty much any other blockchain. 75% of that gets either burned or sent to the reserve. There's even a tokenomics section, but the information here is very, very poor. Look at this, LP vesting. It just shows an address. Look at this, investor vesting. The investor vesting contract progressively unlocks. No real information here. You have to go to a third-party website to get somewhat of an idea. Now the inflation here looks okay up until the middle of this year. This is then when the team unlocks start. So you want to keep that in mind. Starting in June of this year, the team and the early investors will get a lot of tokens unlocked, and they might be selling. We don't know, but they might be selling at least partially, and then potentially depress the price. It's not a problem right now, but it might become a problem half a year from now. And in anticipation of that unlock, maybe 1 or 2 months before that, we could already see first people selling their Neutron or potentially even betting on falling prices, shorting the token. So the price dynamic in the next 4 months is very different to the price dynamic thereafter. Right now, only 28% of all of the Neutron tokens are circulating. So you're almost 4x in circulating supply over the next years. The market cap is only at 365 million. The fully diluted market cap after all of that issuance is 1.3 billion. Now, what's the main contributor to this current Neutron rally? I think it comes from the backdrop of osmosis. Osmosis was able to outperform Ethereum a lot since October of this year, and I show you why. Have a look at this chart behind me. This is the osmosis chart relative to Ethereum. So not the US dollar chart, but the Ethereum denominated chart. You always want to look at relative performance, right? That's why you get into altcoins. You want to get outperformance. And since the middle of October of this year, osmosis outperformed, and Neutron is built on osmosis. The massive outperformance of Neutron itself also started around that time. Now, what happened in October of 2023? This vertical line here happened. This is the stablecoin market cap historically. The first vertical line was the collapse of Terra Luna, of the Anchor protocol. A lot of people withdrew their stablecoins for fiat. Crypto market as a whole was shrinking. Prices tended to go down. Now, since October of this year, money is flowing into the centralized exchanges again. They are redeeming the fiat for stablecoins. And so we can see on-chain stablecoin development. And what I like about this chart is, first of all, it's very low in volatility, so we can clearly tell trends. But I also think it's a very good measure of how much activity there currently is in altcoin speculation. Because why do you get into stablecoins? You get into stablecoins because you want to trade altcoins. You want to go in and out of altcoins. This is the main use case for stablecoins. And so it's not just osmosis that's outperforming Ethereum now. It's a lot of altcoins that are outperforming Ethereum now. Now here's a chart that's not that pretty. This is the Neutron price relative to the osmosis price. Again, with Neutron being part of the osmosis ecosystem. Neutron did really well, but osmosis did even better, and thus Neutron underperformed osmosis. Now that's ugly, because Neutron is way more risky than osmosis. You want to see an outperformance here. Again, the idea is that the more risk you take, the more performance you should be expecting. Now, what I'm hoping here, and I'm not sure if it will happen, but I'm hoping for more adoption of decentralized applications that can attract more capital into Neutron. A lot of the opportunities on the Mars protocol seems to have been already taken. Now we need new decentralized applications. And again, there is development happening on GitHub at least, right? We don't know if other projects are now coming up, but they need to come rather fast because there is this looming deadline in the middle of this year when all of those token unlocks happen. So my approach is to simply follow the ecosystem closely, watch out for new applications, and if they get launched, this might create a lot of excitement around Neutron. If that doesn't happen, this could end up badly in the long term. But again, we are now in altcoin season, and of course, a lot of altcoins can do pretty well simply because money is flowing into the ecosystem. If it's your first time here, feel free to subscribe. I publish videos regularly. A like would be very much appreciated as well. It helps the channel grow. There's also a free Telegram. Link is down below.